The galaxy had known peace for centuries. Empires rose and fell, alliances were forged and broken, but no force had ever threatened the delicate balance of power across the stars. Until now. The arrival of the Eclipse, a warship so advanced it defied comprehension, shattered that fragile equilibrium. Its name alone became whispered in hushed tones among the outer colonies. No one knew where it came from or who commanded it. All they knew was its presence meant devastation. On the distant moon of Lyria Prime, an engineer named Kale worked tirelessly in his small workshop. His hands moved with precision as he assembled parts for outdated mining drones. It wasn't glamorous work, but it kept food on the table. He didn't pay much attention to galactic politics. News about far-off battles seemed irrelevant when survival was already a daily struggle. But even Kale couldn't ignore the rumors spreading like wildfire through the settlement. The Eclipse was coming. Kale first heard about the ship weeks ago during one of his supply runs to the orbital station above Lyria Prime. A trader named Rin spoke of entire fleets being obliterated without warning. "It doesn't attack civilians," Rin said, his voice trembling. "Not yet. But every military vessel sent against it has been turned into cosmic dust. Entire star systems have gone dark after crossing its path." At the time, Hale dismissed it as exaggeration. People always spun tales to make themselves feel important. Yet as reports poured in, verified transmissions showing destroyed battlecruisers and abandoned planets, he began to wonder if escape might be their only option. The alarm blared across Lyria Prime just before dawn. Kale bolted upright in bed, heart pounding. Outside his window, the sky glowed faintly orange from the twin suns rising over the horizon. But something felt wrong. The air vibrated with tension, heavy and oppressive. "Attention all citizens," a mechanical voice announced over the intercom system. "An unidentified warship has entered our sector. Evacuation protocols are now in effect. Please proceed to designated shelters immediately." Kale grabbed what little he could carry, a backpack filled with tools, rations, and a holodisc containing blueprints of his inventions, and hurried outside. Panic gripped the streets. People ran in every direction, shouting and crying. Some tried to load onto cargo ships bound for safer territories, while others barricaded themselves inside their homes, hoping against hope that this would pass them by. As Kale joined the crowd, heading toward the spaceport, he spotted a familiar face, Mira, a medic who often treated injured workers at the mines. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. "Have you seen it?" she asked breathlessly as they walked together. "The ship?" "No," Kale replied. "But I've heard enough stories to know we don't want to stick around." Mira nodded grimly. "They say it's not just a weapon, it's alive. Like some kind of artificial intelligence that thinks for itself. If that's true, none of us stand a chance." Kale didn't respond. He wanted to believe there was still a way out, but doubt gnawed at him. Even if they managed to leave Lyria Prime, where could they go? The Eclipse had already cut a swath of destruction through half the galaxy. There was nowhere left to hide. By the time they reached the spaceport, chaos reigned supreme. Ships of all sizes jostled for position on the launch pads, their captains desperate to flee. Security forces struggled to maintain order, but it was clear they were overwhelmed. Kale and Mira pushed their way through the throng, searching for any vessel that might take them aboard. That's when they saw it, the Eclipse. Hovering silently in orbit above Lyria Prime, the warship dwarfed everything else in sight. Its sleek obsidian hull absorbed light, rather than reflecting it, making it appear more like a void than a physical object. Strange patterns pulsed along its surface, glowing faintly with an eerie blue light. It radiated menace, as though it were watching, waiting. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd as the ship fired a single beam of energy. The blast struck the largest cruiser in the fleet, preparing to evacuate, reducing it to ash in an instant. The explosion lit up the sky, bathing the spaceport in harsh white light. Screams erupted as people scattered, abandoning their belongings in their haste to escape. "We need to move," Mira shouted, pulling Kale toward a smaller freighter docked nearby. They climbed aboard just as the pilots sealed the hatch and powered up the engines. Inside, the cabin was packed with refugees clutching their loved ones and whatever possessions they'd managed to save. "Hold on tight," the pilot yelled as the ship lifted off. Through the viewport, Kale watched Lyria Prime shrink behind them. The Eclipse loomed larger and larger, its ominous presence filling the void between the stars. Then, without warning, the warship vanished. For hours, the freighter drifted through empty space, its passengers too afraid to speak. Everyone waited for the inevitable return of the Eclipse, certain it would track them down and finish what it started. But nothing happened. Against all odds, they seemed to have escaped. Kale sat alone in a corner of the cabin, staring at the holodisc in his hand. It contained designs for a prototype shield generator he'd been working on, a project he'd abandoned years ago due to lack of funding. Now, staring at the tiny device, an idea began to form in his mind. "What are you thinking about?" Mira asked, sitting beside him. "This." Kale held up the holodisc. "If I can modify my shield design, maybe we can create something strong enough to withstand the Eclipse, at least long enough to fight back." Mira frowned. "You really think it's possible?" "I don't know," Kale admitted. "If we don't try, what's the alternative? Keep running forever." Mira hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, let's do it." Over the next several days, Kale and Mira worked tirelessly to adapt the shield generator for use against the Eclipse. With help from other refugees aboard the freighter, they scavenged parts from damaged equipment and pieced together a crude but functional prototype. It wasn't perfect, but it was their best shot. Their journey took them to a remote asteroid belt rumored to be safe from the warship's reach. There, they joined forces with a ragtag group of survivors determined to resist the Eclipse. Together, they transformed a derelict cruiser into a makeshift warship, equipping it with Kale's experimental shields and whatever weapons they could salvage. When the Eclipse finally appeared, drawn by their defiance, the survivors stood ready. As the warship approached, its massive frame blotting out the stars, Kale activated the shields. Energy crackled around the cruiser, forming a shimmering barrier that pulsed with defiant light. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Eclipse unleashed devastating attacks, each strike shaking the cruiser to its core, but the shields held firm, holding back the tide of destruction. Encouraged by their success, the survivors launched a daring counterattack, targeting the warship's glowing patterns with concentrated fire. Against all odds, they succeeded. The Eclipse faltered, its once impenetrable armor cracking under the combined assault. For the first time, the galaxy witnessed the fall of the unstoppable juggernaut. As the warship disintegrated into fragments of metal and energy, cheers erupted aboard the cruiser. Tears streamed down faces as the survivors embraced, celebrating their hard-fought victory. Though battered and bruised, they had proven that even the most fearsome enemy could be defeated. And somewhere among the wreckage floated a holodisc, its contents destined to inspire future generations. For Kale and his crew, the fight was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, hope burned bright in their hearts. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, the legend of the Eclipse lived on, not as a symbol of terror, but as a testament to the resilience of those who refused to surrender.